Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show with Kentucky boys Tim Batts and Josh Williams. Tim is a music promoter, radio host, and passionate bluegrasser, and Josh is a 20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year. This podcast is all about bluegrass music, where they swap stories, crack jokes, and pick on each other. Josh even plays a song or two in each episode. Plus, they sit down with bluegrass artists and insiders for interviews you won't hear anywhere else. It's music, it's laughs, it's all things bluegrass, right here on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Now, here are your hosts, Tim Batts and Josh Williams.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. I am Tim Batts.
Hello, Tim Batts.
Hello, Josh Williams. It is a pleasure to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Doing all right today?
Yes.
It's a beautiful day here in Western Kentucky as we sit out here and look out over the beautiful bluegrass rolling hills of Western Kentucky at the Batts Estate.
So where's these hills that you're talking about?
Well, that's hills right over there. See them out that window? Yeah.
Does that count as a hill?
Well, a little bit. We ain't the hills of Eastern Kentucky for sure, but
No.
anyway, but still pretty, I think.
Oh, very much so.
But anyway, we're glad you're here. This is episode 97 of the Hometown Bluegrass Show, and we are just excited to bring it to you. Episode 96 was a memorable one for us as we remembered Ronnie Bowman, and that was a great episode there, and you did fabulous on your version of Three Rusty Nails.
Thank you.
Got lots of Facebook comments and plays and all that, so if you want to see Josh play and sing that Ronnie Bowman song, Three Rusty Nails. It's on our Hometown Bluegrass Show Facebook page. So, it had lots of thousands of views. So,
Oh, good.
a lot of people commented on, especially just coming out on Good Friday. It was good timing on that, terrible timing on losing Ronnie, but great guy that will be missed. But as we continue on with episode 97, this is going to be a good one. This is going to prove you're getting old on this episode.
Like I need more proof of that.
Yeah, so, we're going to use this episode to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Josh's debut album. So,
Wow.
yeah, so we're going to talk about that, and I got lots of questions for you if you can remember back that far.
I can try.
But the album was called "Now That You're Gone," and that track number 2 on the album came out in 2001. So, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But just wanted to get the ball rolling on this. There's a lot of great things going on in the world of bluegrass. It's as we record this, it's coming up on mid-April, and festival season will be kicking off real soon. So
Yep.
Southern Legacy's got lots of dates coming up, don't you?
Yeah, we have our first, I guess, to kick off festival season will be not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. We'll be performing at the Big Lick Festival out there in, I think it's Oakboro or somewhere around there in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the festival season kickoff.
Oh, well, good.
So
Well, good deal. Well, have y'all recovered from your Ireland trip yet?
I think so at this point. Yeah.
That takes a lot out of you, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I used to be able to do all of that kind of stuff and
But your debut album came out 25 years ago, so you're getting old.
Exactly. So when this album was brand new, it was nothing. I was totally fine to do trips like that, and then hop behind fly all the way back home, and then hop behind the wheel and take off to California. I don't know, but yeah, it's a lot different these days.
Yeah, no
the
doubt.
recovery time it definitely takes a lot more recovery time.
Oh, I bet a trip like that would put me out for a month probably. But
I've found now I can drive just from my house to here. I get out of my car and I'm like, ow,
that 30 or 40 minute drive just about killed me.
yeah. I mean, it's things are very different now than they used to be, and I'm not digging it.
I hear you. I know the feeling. So, well, we've got I'm promoting a bluegrass festival coming up soon. We're actually having a meeting tomorrow about it. It's coming up real soon, June the 6th. You guys are a big part of that, our headliner. It's called Bluegrass on the Bluff in Columbus, Kentucky, which is at Columbus Belmont State Park. Beautiful state park that sits up on a big bluff overlooking the Mississippi River. And so if you don't have anything to do, it's a free festival, no tickets required. All you got to do is just show up on June the 6th. The music will start around 11. We're going to have food vendors, and there's a concession stand there, great facilities. There's a campground, just a wonderful view. It's full of Civil War history in this park, and that's what it is. It's an old Civil War battleground and camp. And but anyway, come check that out. I thought, what a great place for a bluegrass festival, and so we're pulling it off. So,
well, and I know that we've talked about this before because I'm kind of a Civil War history buff type of, you know. Anyway, and at one point during the Civil War, they had a chain stretched across the Mississippi River to keep people from being able to cross or whatever, to come through that area. And that's where that was, correct?
And the chain is still there. They've drug it up on the ground, and it's actually going to be right there. We'll be sitting all around it during the music.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that was one of the most narrow places in the Mississippi River right there at this park, and so that's why they did that. And the chain ended up breaking, I think, and came apart really before it was able to accomplish a lot of what it was intended to do. So, but all that history is there. You can read about it and learn more about it there. There's a gift shop, and it's a cool place to have a bluegrass festival. And this will be our first year to do it, and I'm excited. Southern Legacy will be our headliner band. They'll play last, and then right before them will be the Dalton Harper Band, and excited to have our buddy Dalton back with us. And while I mentioned this, we're on the bluff looking out at the river, listening to music. You'll be looking right across the river into Missouri, which is where Dalton's from, and also his sister Hannah, who will give her a plug. She just made the top 11 on American Idol night before last. So
all right,
she's cruising along in her American Idol journey. So Hannah Harper is Dalton's younger sister.
You got a round of applause on there somewhere for her?
Well, there might be actually. Yeah, here we go. Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. So we're excited about Hannah. But she's doing great, and really, I kind of knew she would, but she's sticking to her wheelhouse of songs. You know, everything. Monday night she sang Heads Carolina, Tails California. You know, Jody Messina song. Every song she's done has been just a classic country song, or you know, she did Go Rest High on the Mountain in honor of her grandpa, you know, a few weeks ago, and so she did a great gospel song, Chris Tomlin song, week before. So just doing really good, and people love her. So go check out Hannah Harper if you haven't already. But yeah, Dalton, her brother, will be playing with his band right before Southern Legacy, and then we've got a great local band called the Wheelhouse Rousters, and that wheelhouse signifies the wheelhouse of a river boat, paddle wheel boat, and they do a lot of their playing on river boats, and so they're perfect fit for this festival. They're from right here in the Paducah, Kentucky area, and so excited to have the Wheelhouse Rousters, and they always have a great local following, and a couple of other local bands from Kentucky, and I think one's from Tennessee will be there to open up the show. And we also have a Civil War era band that's going to be there. I can't remember. It's like the 52nd Regiment String Band, I think is what it's called, but they're out of Memphis, Tennessee. They all dress the Civil War part and play the Civil War era instruments and music, dressed just like they were at the Civil War. So,
oh wow!
So yeah, going to have great music, great breakout sessions, and some workshops and things they'll be talking about. And also Nathan Lynn, who's in the Wheelhouse Rousters, a great local historian. He's going to be doing some stuff with his son Samuel that you know, and give guitar lessons to. And I don't know, he may be giving you lessons now. Last I heard him, he's pretty dang good. So.
Oh yeah, he's great, man.
But anyway, so make plans. June the 6th, Columbus, Kentucky. Any more questions, just look us up on our Facebook page, or you can shoot me an email at timbats.com. But anywho, so enough of that. Anything else you got you want to jam about?
Well, it seems like I had something a minute ago, but
while you're thinking,
you know, it was one of those things where it's like remember to say this.
Right,
And then I'm
exactly.
like, okay, what was it that I was supposed to remember to say? One thing that I do want to touch on, and this is something that I've been seeing a lot of lately, and I don't know where it's coming from, if it's AI or what it is, but there is a lot of, I guess the Trumpers would call it fake news, but there's a lot of just crap out there on Facebook and all this stuff now. Like, I mean, it seems like once a week I'm looking at, a post on there from, I don't know who, but it's like something about Rhonda Vincent and her family and stuff. And it's all fake. None of it's real, and I read something just the other day, and I messaged Rhonda because it was concerning to me, because somebody had posted, a similar type of thread that Darren Vincent had been involved in a really serious car accident, and it ends up that's not even true. It's fake and it's awful.
Yeah,
and that's not the first time this has happened. This has been happening a lot lately, and it just seems like there's something on Rhonda every week anymore. And you see a lot of the stuff too, on Hannah and from the American Idol stuff, and I don't understand it.
I don't either. I guess it's just clickbait, AI or some idiot trying to use fake news to get them to click on a website and spam them or whatever. I don't know. But it's you just can't believe all that crap. They've been saying that for years. That Abraham Lincoln was quoted as saying, "You can't believe everything you read on the internet." So.
Yeah, that's the guy that said that.
Yeah, exactly. So just don't believe it. I mean, Facebook is good for some things, but
it just seems like there's more and more of it anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like I see more of that than I do just normal people's. I don't want that in my algorithm.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. And you and I were talking before we went on the air. AI has its place and it can do some good things, but you just got to be careful with it. You just can't overuse it and abuse it. So absolutely. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to a fellow bluegrass podcaster. I don't know this guy, but I was mowing earlier today and I listened to his podcast, Bluegrass Jam Along. I mean, it seems like this guy's very knowledgeable. I mean, I don't know if he's British or what. He don't speak Western Kentucky redneck like we do, but he sounds very intelligent. But anyway, he's got this podcast called Bluegrass Jam Along, and I enjoyed it. And he interviewed a guy on the episode that came out today, Alex Graff.
Oh, yeah.
And they were talking about Tony's Manzanita album, how it changed their lives and how it changed Alex's life. But anyway, it was really good. Go check it out. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't mind promoting him. And I think Tony's album, Manzanita, did change a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, it did. And what was always funny, Tony thought it was hilarious because Bluegrass Unlimited, when it came out, they basically said, do not get this album.
Really?
Yeah. And because it didn't have any banjo on it.
That's what they talked about in this podcast, and there was speculation as to why. And Alex said he had heard that J.D. Crowe got sick. I don't know if you know the
Yeah,
real,
that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Crowe was supposed to have been on the album. Crowe was sick and couldn't make it out. And Tony just didn't want to have another player. If he couldn't have Crowe, he just wasn't going to have a banjo.
Right.
And that's all it boiled down to. But then that started the whole, Tony hates banjo, and he purposely didn't want a banjo on his album, and that's not true.
Yeah,
that's not true at all.
Yeah,
Tony was a big traditional bluegrass guy,
right? And that, speaking of that, they mentioned the fact that there was some songs on this album that he didn't always play his Martin on, and that he played an Ovation guitar on as well. So I found that interesting because there's such a contrast in sounds of them guitars.
Well, it's really in most people's hands, you would be able to hear the difference, but on that recording, you can't tell. And Sam Bush told me one time, and it was funny because he was fixing to go on stage, and they were introducing him, and he starts walking off, and he comes back over to where I'm at, and he says, "Listen, I don't care what anybody else says. I was there. The song Manzanita was recorded on an Ovation. And then he turned around and walked away.
He told you that?
Yeah. He said, I don't care what anybody else says. I was there. I saw it. He recorded, and that's the only song supposedly on the record that he played that on. Because he had literally just acquired, at that point, Clarence's guitar.
Well, as soon as the podcast was over, I pulled it up and listened to it, and I couldn't tell. I mean, and I've seen Ovations, and I've heard the differences, but I mean, you're right. I couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
But
now, on the 0044 album that you have on your shirt there, that guitar was the guitar that we saw in Owensboro.
Yeah, at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of that record, he didn't have Clarence's guitar yet.
Gotcha.
So he played the Hilo Brown D28.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I noticed your Keith Whitley hat too. Man.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
pretty cool. Where'd you get that at?
Just
Out
friend of
closet?
mine. Yeah, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I got this cool hat you probably want." And I was like, "I send it my way, man."
Heck yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, that's cool.
but I've got a lot of cool stuff now. I got of course, I'm rocking our swag today with the Hometown Bluegrass Show, but which I have the shirt that you're wearing too, thanks to you, and a really cool Tony Rice shirt as well. But I also I've been fortunate enough to I've collected some pretty cool T-shirts over the years, and Don gave me one that is it's a picture of Crow, and it's a picture that Jim McGuire in Nashville took, and he's smoking a cigar. And it's just the coolest photo, man. It is just so cool.
That's cool.
But anyway, so yeah,
I'd love to have a collection of old festival or bluegrass T-shirts and have someone make them into a T-shirt quilt and raffle it off as like a fundraiser or something.
That would
always
be awesome.
wanted to do that. I thought that'd be so cool.
Well, we should work on that.
Yeah, if you're listening out there and you got a bunch of old shirts, send them to us.
There's a lot of
Raise
places,
some money with them.
a lot of places that deal in like the old T-shirts, like retro T-shirts.
Well, that's
and
where I got
stuff,
this 0044 shirt. So just some random place online. So that's pretty cool. Well, man, let's get down to the reason we are here today. And it wasn't just to hang out and see each other, which has been great, and shoot little guns off the back deck. That was fun.
That's always fun.
But we'll take a quick break and come back and let's hash out this album. See if you can remember back that far. I don't know if you can or not.
I'll try.
Well, we'll try it and see. We'll be back in just a second.
Hey, this is Josh Williams for Page Capos. The Page Capo is lightweight, durable, and quickly attaches and allows you to change frets with ease. With controlled tension capabilities, Page Capo always stays in tune. But don't just take my word for it. Page Capos is also used by folks like Vince Gill, Ron Block, Tim O'Brien, Cody Kilby, Tommy Emmanuel, and James Taylor. So don't trust just any capo. Use what the pros use. Listen to the Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast for your chance to win a Page Capo on every episode. Do what I do and trust Page Capos. Order online at pagecapo.com.
Looking for expert insurance advice from a team that truly knows Western Kentucky? At Paducah Insurance Agency, we're more than just policies. We're your neighbors, helping you protect what matters most. With locations in Paducah and Benton, Kentucky, we offer home, auto, business, and life insurance with top carriers like Erie Insurance, all at competitive rates. Locally owned and committed to your peace of mind, Jared Morgan and his team are here to help. Call Paducah Insurance Agency today at 855-853-4763 or visit paducahinsurance.com. Paducah Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you trust.
Thank you so much to our sponsors, Paducah Insurance and Page Capos. And don't forget, we give away a Page Capo in every episode. So it kind of is an advantage if you listen early. So each episode comes out on Friday morning early, like 5 a.m. Central. So you listen early, then you be the first one to comment on our Facebook page after I make the post, after I get up and get going and make the post, which ain't going to be probably at 5 a.m. But
Don't blame you.
yeah, I ain't that dedicated. But But anyway, I'll put in some kind of question, and then you be the first to answer the right Page Capo question, and you be the winner of Page Capo, and we'll send you a promo code for a free Page Capo, thanks to Brian and Lisa Page. So
Yeah.
yep. So we also give away a free McEwen guitar pick in each episode. Mark Rogers is kind enough to donate one of those each week here on the podcast, and there'll also be a separate question for McEwen guitar pick, which are great picks, guitar and mandolin picks used by Josh and lots of other people in the bluegrass world and lots of other genres. I'm sure they gain popularity and move across the music world. There, lots of people are starting to use those and really enjoy them. So,
I tell you what, I love mine.
how many did you take to Ireland with you? Well, you didn't have to take a bunch of them with you. Mark went with you. So
Yeah, Mark went with
I guess
us.
he had a whole bag of them.
He had a whole bunch there, and there was a few guys that were at some of the shows and stuff that were local, and they asked me, what kind of pick are you using, and I told them, and I said, actually, that guy's here. Let me go get him.
Wow.
So
That's pretty neat.
yeah, so and Mark now has my exact size that I like, and he's kind of making that my thing, and when people ask him what I use, and he said, well, he uses a special size which is not as big as some but not as small as others, and so
The JW special.
yeah yeah it's whatever his number is, and then he says he has a JW on the end of it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about it. Let's think back. 2001.
Oh goodness.
How far removed were you from high school?
In 2001, I was 20 years old up until November the 20th of that year. So I would have been just out of high school pretty much a year and a half, going on 2 years.
Gotcha.
I graduated in 99.
Yeah.
Literally graduated on Friday, and Friday night the bus picked me up to take me on the road.
Special C.
Special C.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that. And so let's talk about from special consensus, 99 and that time. So what made you decide, okay, I want to record my own Josh Williams album? Had you left Special C at that time, or was this
No.
just, you were still there, right?
I was still there, and actually Pine Castle Records were, they came to me about it.
Oh, okay.
At the time, that was still owned by Colonel Tom Riggs, and he just liked my singing, and which, I mean, he always told me, he said, I intend to let you make me a lot of money. And I was like, okay, cool, But he did. He believed in me, and he gave me that shot. And we had initially, kind of had some different ideas. I was wanting to do a solo record anyway, and we had started off. We had like a couple of tracks that were already in the can from several years back that we had started on. We had initially had Scott Vestal was going to produce it, and then that didn't happen, and then. So when we finally got started, we'd talked also with Dan Tominski, who was very busy at the time, and then Don Rigsby, who I was already friends with and very much looked up to. He came to us and said, "Hey, I would like to do that." And so we decided that we could get somebody that was doing it because they were getting paid, or we could use somebody that actually wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so we ended up going with Don.
Somebody that knew the music.
Yeah, yeah, and it ended up being the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it started a friendship between Don and I that's lasted,
Yeah.
more than 25 years. And
And you sing together today.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Dan Tominski was busy in 2001 because that was the year that "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" came out, and so that 2001, "I Am a Man of Constant Sorrow" was hot off the charts, and actually ended up being Song of the Year that year for IBMA, and And of course, "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" was the album of the year for IBMA. So bluegrass music had just taken a huge jump in 2001. So I think that, was a big, I got a feeling this has to be a good, big help for you and your career in that album, I would think, I think it introduced so many people to bluegrass who may not have heard it, and so I think it was opening some.
I think
eyebrows.
so. Yeah, I do. I do believe that. I mean, there was a big resurgence happening in bluegrass, and mostly due to that movie,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for that. And, appreciate T-Bone Burdette and everything that he did to make that happen, because he seemed to have a true respect for the genre and wanted to try to capture it in its true beauty, in its true form. So,
and that's when I first really kind of started getting into bluegrass music. So it had a profound effect on me as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was just a great movie too. I don't know, I mean, this is still one of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
it's hilarious.
Absolutely, it's one of those when you catch it on, you just got to watch it. So
yeah, I still will laugh at myself because I'll get myself into a situation, and I'll just start repeating, "Damn, we're in a tight spot."
I know it. That's great.
I remember watching that with my dad, and he said that like 5 times over and over. My dad was just cracking up.
Oh man!
But anyway, so the record, I had, like I say, I had an idea for part of it, and had already had the ideas for certain songs that I wanted to put on there. And like Tennessee Blues, the original track on that one had been cut already. The If You Were Mine track was already cut. And there was another one. Let me think of what it was. Oh, Tennessee Blues. No, I already said that. I said Tennessee Blues, If You Were Mine. Hush. I can't remember what the other one. Oh, Moonlight Motor Inn, of course. So those were 3 tracks that were initially cut around 1996, and it was me and Chris Thiele and Missy Raines that cut those 3 tracks. So when we got,
so were they publicized at that time?
No. They were
cut?
literally just tracks.
Gotcha.
There was no vocals to them. No,
Right.
Chris's lead. Chris ended up having to come back because there was no mandolin lead on Moonlight Motor Inn.
Well, and Chris was busy that year too, because I think Nickel Creek was just hitting like new artist of the year type stuff.
Yep. Yeah, they were very busy.
Yeah, they debuted in 2000. So the Lighthouse came out in 2001. His song, "The Lighthouse." So
and that was a big song for him.
Absolutely, still a great song. So. So the rest of the songs, which song, didn't you write one of these songs?
I wrote "Now That You're Gone."
Now That You're Gone, yeah. The title track. So, but that's the only song that you wrote?
Yeah. I didn't do a lot of songwriting, and I still don't.
Yeah. So where did that song come from then?
Well, I mean, just a bad breakup, that I'd had. Of course, at that point I didn't have many of those, so it was, easy to write about one. Now I'd have to write them all. There'd be several. So I don't know.
double album set.
Yeah, at least. So, that was just one of those where it was like, look, I need to write a song. I'm going to sit down and make myself do it. So, and that's literally what happened. And usually I would have like an idea for a melody and then write to that melody, but I ended up writing the words out and then coming up with a melody.
Yeah.
That's a little different than what I had been doing. You know? But like I say, I didn't really have a set way of doing it at that time because I hadn't written a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking it's kind of short, and I don't really know if it's done, and Don was like, man, let's do it. I think it sounds great. Let's put it on there.
Yeah.
And Randy Coors and Aubrey Haney, really, both of those guys made that.
Yeah. Well, it's got you, Missy Raines, and Aubrey Haney, Randy Coors, and of course Don Rigsby, I guess, played the mandolin on there. So, but I want to play one or two tracks from this if you don't care.
I don't
play
mind.
that one.
Sure.
All right. Well, this is the title track from the album that we're talking about, written by yours truly across the table, Josh Williams.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
Here's Now That You're Gone.
I look out the window at the rising sun. Boy, this night sure went by fast. I still can't believe the words you told me last night. I always thought our love would last. I go to the kitchen, put the coffee on, and try to pretend like nothing's wrong. I look in the mirror, but a stranger's there. Guess I'm not me now that you're gone. Now that you're gone, I can't see the light, and I miss those arms and the way they used to hold me tight. I never thought that I would go and lose my only one, but I believe it now that you're gone. Now that you're gone, I can't see the light, and I miss those arms and the way they used to hold me tight. I never thought that I would go and lose my only one, but I believe it now that you're gone. Yes, I believe it now that you're gone.
Where's that take you to?
Uh,
Where's your mind go during that song?
uh,
I can see your wheels spinning.
yeah, I a lot of places.
I mean, does it go to production? Does it go to the songwriting? Does it go to, what does it go to?
it just kind of takes me back to a frame of mind that I was in when I wrote it. You know,
When was the
I mean,
last
it's
time you
just-
listened to that song?
Oh my God, I don't even remember. You know, I don't even remember the last time I heard that song.
Yeah. It's such a great song, man.
Well,
Just
thanks.
such a great story. I love the harmonies and this, of course, the instrumentation. Did Don play an A-style mandolin on that song? Do you remember?
No, it's me playing mandolin.
it's you
on it.
playing?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I am playing Don's mandolin, and that was his one of his red diamond mandolins.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had I had my mandolin there, but something had happened to it. I can't remember what it was, but something, I'd gotten it set up or something, and I think the bridge had failed or something, and I ended up not being able to use it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I ended up having to get a new bridge for it and all that, and I don't remember exactly how that went down, but
Yeah. That's a beautiful mandolin part. I love how it comes in on that lead break.
yeah.
It's really nice. Really nice.
At that time, I was, I was really kind of trying to make that Ronnie Bowman type of sound of a song.
I can hear that, yeah.
And have the Adam Steffi mandolin sound, and all of that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Definitely did that for sure.
It's funny if you listen to the very first song on that record, which is a song that Scotty Henson, my banjo teacher, wrote in Benton. When he had first wrote that, it was kind of it sounded like a Johnny Cash song, the way that he had it written. Mm-hmm. And then Thiele and I turned it into like a Lonesome River Band song. Oh, yeah. I mean, just listening to play the kickoff on that one. It's the very first song. If you were mine, yeah. Sammy's playing on it, so listen to it. You can totally hear the Lonesome River Band.
I thought Dan was going to start singing right there. So,
it's very we made it sound a lot like the kickoff to "Who Needs You."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, how do you think you changed as a musician or a singer since 2001?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, not just in "Are You Better" or whatever, but like,
right?
How do you think you've changed? Or how's the music changed you?
Well, so at that point in my life, I had a huge Lonesome River Band influence.
Passion, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where my mindset was. And that was really before I had gotten into the Tony Rice type of music or even the J.D. Crowe type of music. I mean, I was still into J.D., don't get me wrong, because J.D.'s on the album.
Right.
So I was already friends with him and stuff, and had a mad respect for him. But that part, I was probably the influence was there, but it wasn't near as strong as what I was really into at the time, which was LRB. And the lineup was, for me, that I first heard for the LRB was, the lineup was Sammy and Ronnie and Dan and Tim Austin. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where everything that we went, that I went to musically kind of went.
Yeah.
But, the older that I got, and then especially after I started playing with Tony, the influence that Tony had on me has always been there in my music, but the influence after I played with him was much stronger. Mm-hmm. Because that's really where my mind went. Yeah. And even just coming up with solos or whatever was just kind of what I got hammered into my brain from hearing him do right beside me. Right. And so obviously there was a lot more of a Tony influence on my more recent stuff than what's on this. But there's still some what would you call? I guess it would be traditional sounding bluegrass on this. There's a couple of songs on here that's not. At this time, I was playing with Special Consensus, and we were always doing like some swing tunes, Mm-hmm. So Don had a song that he thought would make a cool swing tune, and it was called "All of You," written by Gordon Kennedy. And anyway, he said, I think we need to look at this one. He said it would be the perfect song for you to have Cahill in here. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. I was kind of using the Special C outline, if you will. Where it has how they would go about doing a record. They always included a swing song, at least one, and always included a gospel song. So on this one, we had I'd gotten a gospel song from Tom T. and Dixie. There's always a light in the church, mm-hmm. And so that's really where we got the idea as far as the layout for the album.
Yeah,
I kind of borrowed that from Special C.
Yeah,
and You Can Keep Your 9-Pound Hammer was a song on here that we had Crow on. And it has that traditional sound. In fact, I learned it from the Traditional Grass, which was Joe Mullins, and it was Joe's dad's band, Moon Mullins, Paul Mullins. He was the one that had the band, and one of their songs was "You Can Keep Your 9-Pound Hammer," which I always thought was funny that was the name of it, because nowhere in that song does it say that. It always says, "I won't need your 9-pound hammer," but it never says, "You can keep your 9-pound hammer." But anyway, but when I first heard that song, it was on a record of theirs, and the very last verse talks about Eddyville. But he says, if you're ever down in Eddiesville and you want to call on me. So we ended up contacting Pete Goebel, who wrote the song. And he said, yeah, we said that when we wrote it because we didn't really know the correct term or how to pronounce it or whatever. He said, and there's no S in there. And I said, I know, we're from there. Yeah. And he said, yeah, if you want to cut the song, absolutely. And he said, you're welcome to just say Eddyville, because that's what it is, you know. But initially they had said Eddiesville. So I don't know why they did that.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you find the Traditional Grass recording of that, that's what they say.
Huh. That's cool.
If you're ever down in Eddiesville and you want to call on me. Yep.
Huh. That's interesting. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so, and let's see, I'm trying to think. Many a Mile, we cut that on here, and I've always, to this day, I get people wanting me to do that.
I was about
song.
to ask you, the next question was, what do you think of all these songs is the one that you still get requested to sing the most? And I would assume it'd be that one.
Yes, yeah, it is by far that one.
Yeah.
I still get Tennessee Blues. I still occasionally will get If You Were Mine and 9-Pound Hammer. And of course, Moonlight Motor Inn.
Yeah.
But Many a Mile is probably the one that more people do.
Who wrote that?
Patrick Leon Sky. He was a folk singer.
Okay.
And that song has like 7 or 8 verses.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah. So, but when I had initially cut it, I didn't know, and I contacted my friend who's since passed away, but J. Don Johnson, and I was like, "Hey man, how many verses are in that song?" He's like, "It's 2 verses." I was like, "Okay," and I said, "Are these the verses?" He said, "Yep, those are the only 2 verses," and then we got the song cut, and he called me back, and he's like, "Hey, man, I think there might be a 3rd verse to that." I said, "Well, too late.
Too late.
This version's going to have 2." And we both laughed, and it don't matter, you know what I mean? But I ended up getting a message from Patrick Sky, basically saying, appreciate you doing that song. Yeah. And, of course, the Country Gentleman cut it in the 60s or early 70s. Oh, really? Yeah.
Was theirs bluegrassy? I mean, I know the Country Gentleman.
It was,
like
yeah.
The Patrick Sky version.
No, it was. Yeah, it was. Man, I think the original recording of it was a guitar and a harmonica. You know, I mean, it was very Dylan-esque.
Yeah, I was going to say very Bob Dylan.
So, but then I found out that not only was there 3 verses, that the gentleman did, that when I actually got, because Patrick Leon Sky actually sent me all of the lyrics. And there was like verse after verse. It looked like Gordon Lightfoot wrote it, I mean, it was like a 20-minute song.
Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald song.
Yeah, so, so I ended up incorporating, and most of the time now, when I do that song, I'll sing 4 verses just to mess with people, because they're like, I thought we just recorded 2, and then you think, well, I only knew 3, and so I'll throw in another verse in there that a lot of people don't know. But that's
funny.
Yeah.
Well, Vince Gill just added another verse to Go Rest High on the Mountain, just like last year, and that song's been out forever, So you can do what you want to do, man.
Well, I mean, he wrote it, so right. I mean, he can add and subtract all he wants. Exactly. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised when I was listening and watching Ronnie's thing. I hadn't heard that 3rd verse. I heard that there was one, but I had never heard it until his memorial service.
Well, 2001 was a year that bluegrass was really taking off. I mean, some of the albums that year were one that stands out to me, where Patty Loveless had crossed over from country back to her roots in bluegrass, and Mountain Soul came out, which is still one of my favorite albums to this day. It brought us songs like, well, of course, Never Leave Heart on Alive, which is one that most people know, and of course, Daniel Prayed with Herd and Skaggs, and Sorrowful Angels on that song is still one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I love that song on there, and just so many great songs on that album. But anyway, of course, just lots of stuff was happening. That was Alison Krauss was huge, then, and winning Grammys, and of course the Lucky One won the Grammy for a Song of the Year that year, and that was things were starting to happen in the bluegrass world right then, and and you was getting your little career kicking off, man. So in 2001, this album comes out. Did you think 25 years later I'll still be singing bluegrass music, or was that your goal, or did you even have a goal, or did you just?
Honestly, I don't remember thinking anything during that time. I was.
I just want to play music.
Yeah, I just want to play music, and I was. That's what I was doing. Of course, the partying was starting too during that time.
Yeah.
So I can remember one of the days, and I don't remember what song it was that we were singing. I could probably listen to the album and listen to my voice and tell you which one it was. But I remember, going out after one of the days that we were working in the studio, and being out pretty late. But like I say, without listening to it, I couldn't tell you which song that it was that was. But anyway, I learned a lot though, doing this record. They had the Last Widow of the Civil War and If It Were Anyone But You were both songs that I got from Carl Jackson, and this was basically what started the friendship between Carl and I.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad wanted to introduce me to Carl. And I can't remember if it was IBMA or where it was, because Carl came in while I was gone. I was not in the studio when Carl came in to do his part. And so I hadn't got to meet him. And my dad was like, come over here, I'm going to introduce you to Carl. So anyway, my dad was talking to somebody, and when he turned around, Carl and I were already hugging. He was like, dang it, I wanted to be able to say, Carl, this is Josh, and Josh, this is Carl. And I turn around, and you guys are already in an embrace. Like, yeah, we knew who each other was, and it was just, from that moment, it was instantaneous.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Great year. Well, I want to take our last quick break, and then when we come back, be thinking about one more song that you want to play off of that, and we'll take us out of that. So, but we'll take our final break real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to listen to a little bit more of Josh's debut album, Now That You're Gone. So hang with us. The Lake House Inn at Sled Creek has undergone complete renovation in 2023. Our outdoor space is unlike any other at Kentucky Lake. With 2 in-ground pools, 18 rooms, and 4 cabins, we're just a stone's throw away from Kentucky Dam. If you're looking to make memories with your family, this nostalgic inn is for you. Welcome to your lake house, where modern meets rustic and becomes home. Reserve online at lakehouseinn.com.
Howdy, friends. I'm Banjo Ben Clark, and you're listening to my good buddies, Tim Batts and Josh Williams, on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. You've tuned in because you like valuable conversation about the world's best music. And if you want more good stuff like that, come on over to my website, banjobenclark.com, where you can learn how to play and purchase anything you might need when it comes to bluegrass-related instruments and accessories. My Gold Pick members over there can access hundreds of lessons for banjo, guitar, and mandolin, with all kinds of resources to help you move on down the road with your picking skills. And if you're looking to purchase something, the deals can't be beat at Banjo Ben's General Store. All there on the same website, banjobenclark.com. Now back to the show.
Thank you, Banjo Ben. We do appreciate your support and the Lake House Inn. If you're ever up around Kentucky Lake at the north end, be sure and book your stay at the Lake House Inn. Cindy and the folks are just super accommodating. It's a beautiful place with an amazing giant swimming pool. And Banjo Ben is a big supporter. And go to banjobenclark.com and buy yourself something nice and save 10% by using Hometown 10 as the promo code. And we'll save you a little money. So thank you so much. So
we're all about that, ain't we?
Absolutely. Well, 2001, as we start to wrap up this show, the year Josh's very first album came out. He had only been a professional musician for a couple of years, but it was a great year. I mean, that was
I had only been a full-time professional musician for a couple of years.
Right, exactly.
Because I was playing for money many years before that, but I just couldn't do it full-time because, I was a school and all that kind of stuff
lad.
as a child.
Right.
And they kind of frown on,
Yeah, dropping out of school.
Well, they frown on that, but they also frown on, the whole child work laws,
exactly.
labor laws, all that kind of stuff. Not that I was doing any labor,
Right.
except carrying a banjo, but I didn't even have to do that most of the time.
Well, that's a big year for Dan Tominski, of course, as we mentioned. Man of Constant Sorrow was Song of the Year. Old Brother was the Album of the Year. He was Male Vocalist of the Year. Your former boss, Rhonda Vincent, was Female Vocalist of the Year. And so that was kind of ironic, I thought, that you would go on to work for her. What was the first year you worked for her? What year was that?
2004.
So it was just a few years later.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. So anyway, but, well, I'm glad we did this. I think folks want to hear about this kind of stuff, and I love talking about older albums and how they came about and all that. And it's neat to have you here to tell those stories that can live on in the archives of this podcast, for your kids and grandkids and all that to hear. So
yeah.
But
and it's there's no mistake that the last song on this album was Moonlight Motor Inn.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because when I was growing up, I was primarily a banjo player. And John Hickman was one of my favorite banjo players of all time. And I used to listen to Burline, Crary, and Hickman. And they hired Steve Spurgeon, who is a great songwriter. Actually, he's written a couple of songs for a lot. Well, he's written for a lot of people, but Gene Watson cut a few of his songs. And anyway, so when they hired him to come in, he started playing electric bass with them, and they made an album called Burline, Crary, and Hickman. Now They Are Four, introducing Steve into the band. And they released this particular album, and they ended up a year after this album was released. They hired John Moore, he was actually Chris Thiele's mandolin teacher. So John Moore came in to play mandolin, and then they changed the name of the group to California, and which is where everybody was pretty much from and living at that time,
Mm-hmm.
But they were amazing. They were such a good group, and you can imagine how good John Moore is on anything he picks up. I mean, he's the reason Chris Thiele plays like he does.
Mm-hmm.
And or at least a big part. I'm sure a lot of that is probably Thiele on his own because he's got the
right
brain like Mozart. But
did y'all change up Moonlight Motor Inn? If you recorded it like 2 years before this album came out, once the album came out, did you just use what you'd already tracked?
Yes, we did. We used that track, and I'm playing both banjos on it, the claw hammer and the three finger style. The only thing that we did different was, like I said earlier, Thiele did not have a mandolin break on there. So, and it ended up being, kind of a bit of a chore, but we were able to get a hold of him through his agent and stuff, and he was able to come. He came to the studio, and he put a solo down on that song with a brand new mandolin that he had just gotten from Lynn Dudenbostel. And it had a Verzi inside it. So if you listen to the mandolin break on this song versus the mandolin stuff that he played on the others. Completely different sound.
Really?
Yeah. And so he came in and did that. David Parmley is playing rhythm guitar on this. And
why didn't you play rhythm guitar?
Well, at that time, I wanted to get David in to play on something.
Yeah.
And that was also during the time when we started it. Initially, it had been cut at a studio that Scott and David owned together, because that was during the time when it was David Parmley, Scott Vestal, and Continental Divide.
Oh, okay.
So that was what was going on during that time.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to get David on a song, and so he's playing rhythm on that, which is why that's one of my favorite rhythm tracks on the whole record, because I loved his rhythm playing, still do. And but anyway, that song we found out between when I started doing the song and when I actually recorded it on this album. It was a High Gear tune, and High Gear was a group that I fronted locally here. And so Tim Harmon, our mandolin player, was actually the guy that sang the song normally, and that's how we were going to cut it. I was going to have High Gear in to do it.
Oh,
and
Tim sang Moonlight Motor in?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
initially.
Yeah, I know Tim real well.
Yeah, and but anyway, for the record, obviously, it made more sense for me to sing it. But the song we found out from people who actually lived in California, that it was a true story, that the Moonlight Motor Inn was an actual place on a 2-lane highway between Palm Springs and Los Angeles. And it talks about in the very last verse how the weeds are growing through the gravel and the blacktop's cracked and all that kind of stuff. And they says our neon sign points in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. And it actually did. That's true. It had fallen, and when it did, it caught itself pointing the other direction, and so it was literally pointing away from the hotel.
That's funny.
But and I seriously doubt it's still there now.
Yeah.
But it's basically a true story about a little place that some people had moved from Beaumont to that area, and I take that back. They moved to Beaumont, and that was their little business, So, and the invention of the interstate is what killed them.
Yeah,
what destroyed their living, because nobody was on that highway anymore.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's cool how John Malcolm Penn was the writer of that song, and how he was able to capture that whole story and just be able to tell it in such detail, where it's basically, they move there and everything's great, and then as they have kids and the kids grow up, they start drifting away and there are other things, and mom starts losing her mind, and it's basically just it's the whole story. It's not just that the interstate came through and it
right.
It killed our little motel. It's just the whole thing is just a really cool song.
You want to play it?
Yeah, I would love to play that one. And this one is almost exactly the same way that Burline, Crary, and Hickman cut this.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. Well, here it is. The last track on Josh's debut album, Now That You're Gone. Here's Moonlight Motor Inn.
In 46, we moved out here to Beaumont to start a little business of our own. They built the freeway through in 62. Everything we had's now lost and gone. I see them in the distance from my window. The faces in the cars look straight ahead. They roll on by too loud for comfort, but too far away to rent a motel bed. So if you're passing on your way from Palm Springs to LA, good old Dave. Say hello to progress and goodbye to the moonlight motor inn. Mother's sleeping in the back room. TV shows are the only life she had. Our son's now a captain in the Air Force, but he can't find the time to ride his proud old dad. And our daughter wants to leave the place at 18 and run away with a job as Beaumont man. Hitchhike out of California and make a life in the Rocky Mountain land. So if you're passing on your way from Palm Springs to LA, give a wave to good old Dave. Say hello to progress and goodbye to the moonlight motor inn. Sun comes up behind the freeway and sets down by the dried-up swimming pool. Can't make the payments on the mortgage, can't turn the red ink into blue. The weeds are growing through the gravel, blacktop's cracked and partly washed away, and our neon sign points in the wrong direction. The moonlight motor inn goes down today. So if you're passing on your way from Palm Springs to LA, give a wave to good old Dave. Say hello to progress and goodbye to the moonlight motor inn. Give a wave to good old Dave. Say hello to progress and goodbye to the moonlight motor inn.
You know, and what's funny is that a solo that I played on there.
The guitar solo?
No, the banjo solo.
Oh, okay.
Is note for note the way that John Hickman played it on their record.
Really?
Yeah, I did play the guitar solo as well. That was me. That was.
Well, I was wondering. You said Parmley played the rhythm. I was wondering if that was your guitar. Now, what did Ronnie Stewart play then? I see his name on this.
He
song.
was playing a fiddle.
Oh, okay. I got you. I was just fixing to ask who was playing the fiddle.
Yeah.
Don was singing harmony with you, right?
Yes.
And there was somebody else singing too.
Yeah,
right?
Don and Ray Kraft.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, Ray Kraft was singing the baritone stuff on that.
I got
Most
you.
of the record, actually.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Well, that's pretty neat. I feel like I could tell a slight difference in your voice on this song versus the other ones. Like, I don't know. It just seemed a little bit different. I don't know if it's because it was 2 years before these other ones, or I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I sang it any earlier. I might have sang it all at the same time. The tracks themselves were cut,
I got you.
earlier on.
Maybe it's just the way it was produced or the nature of the song. I don't know. It just sounded a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, and that's the only song that Parmley played rhythm on. So I'm sure that's got a lot to do with it, because on the rest of the stuff I'm playing guitar.
Gotcha.
And I was not that great of a rhythm player back then, because I hadn't done it, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I mean, I had so many different influences coming from it, and the California influence on me was pretty big, you know, and that's why I played that note for note the way John Hickman did, you know, because I loved John Hickman's banjo playing, and that was one thing when I started taking banjo lessons from Allison Brown back in the 90s. That was one of the things that we used to do was, you know, she would show me John Hickman licks because that was her favorite banjo player too at the time.
Gotcha.
But she was from out there, you know. She grew up watching him and stuff. Whereas I didn't. I was just, you know, really big into Berline, Crary, and Hickman.
Yeah.
A lot of music there for just three guys that didn't have a bass or anything. You know, it was just a guitar, a fiddle, and a banjo. Yeah. And a lot of music coming out from those three guys.
No doubt. Well, a lot of great music coming out on this album right here, man. It's good stuff, and I know it was just a great kickoff for what's been a great career for you. So,
well, and I have Don Rigsby to thank for that. You know, Don saw, you know, my abilities, and he truly wanted to be a part of it, and pushed me to be better, and did a great job producing this one and the next record that followed it. You know, he was very good at it. He was good at finding songs that suited my voice. And like I say, I also just you know, started a friendship that's still very strong today.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's evident for sure. Absolutely. So, well, if you haven't listened to it, please go listen. I don't know if you get a hard copy anywhere anymore, but definitely go stream it on Apple Music and Spotify and all those streaming platforms. And
I'd be willing to bet there's probably a box of them somewhere at the house.
Probably so. You need to dig those out, man.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Absolutely. Well, this has been fun. I've enjoyed this. Episode 97 has been cool to do it this way. And
well, and thank you for doing it, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. I
your interest.
Saw that. I thought that'd be a cool thing to do, and it's been a lot of fun. So hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Be sure and check us out on Facebook at the Hometown Bluegrass Show. You can send us a message there or at timbats.com, but be sure and follow and like Josh's Facebook page as well, and also ours, and like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. We hope you love this one because we sure love doing it.
So, and y'all write to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Send us a letter. BR549. So.
Send us a check. Send us all kinds of stuff. We love it.
Cards and letters and checks coming in.
So. Oh, and I want you to know that I've had a lot of compliments on the last couple of episodes, but apparently the last one where I wasn't here the time before last, when I was still in Ireland, and the song that you did, I've been getting a lot of compliments. People saying, well, we had no idea Tim was as good as he is. And like, well, I mean, he's great. You know, why do you think I do? I'm not going to just, you know, do this with somebody that has no idea what they're doing.
well, sitting by you, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do love the music, and I have not been a fan. I'm 57 years old, and unfortunately, I didn't get eat up with it until about 25 years ago. But anyway, it's in me, and I love it. So
yeah.
But
well, I've had a lot of compliments, so I want you to know that.
That's
so
awesome.
Great job.
Well, I appreciate that. It's good to know. I wasn't sure. So that's so cool. But well, we love y'all listening. We love y'all, and thank you so much. And just always remember, if you got time to breathe,
you got time for music.
Bye-bye.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Thanks for spending some time with your hosts, Tim Batts and Josh Williams. We hope you learned a little and laughed a lot. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode from the heart of bluegrass. Until next time, keep picking, keep grinning. Tim and Josh look forward to seeing you down the road.